Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us here at the Niagara branch. We're actually coming to you live from Lock 7 tonight, and joining with me this evening, my name is Steve Fulton, and tonight we have Lois Johnson, who is a member of our branch council. So tonight is going to be a night of kind of exploring and to see what is available locally. I think that's what we were trying to achieve, Lois. We are going to be using some national websites, but drilling down to local. And then we're going to be using some local sites that people may not be familiar with. So during the presentation, I would encourage you, if you have questions, to just put them in the chat, and we will try to answer them. Normally, on a Friday night, Lois is at home and I'm at home, and she's managing the chat, and I'm usually talking because that's usually what I do. But tonight we're together, so I've got a laptop off to the side, and I'm trying to, bring people in as we do that. So type in your messages into that. So again, welcome to the Niagara branch. We are recording this meeting, and we will be putting this into the members only for those who are unable to make it with us tonight. So just a little bit that we want to talk about the branch, and then we want to get into the presentation, and then we'll talk more about the branch come the end, because there's been a lot of changes. Whoops, hang on. Why aren't we getting some feedback? No feedback. So we will talk more about the branch as we get through the presentation. So just to remind people, there is, the Niagara branch does have a Facebook group. We do have a Twitter account. Unfortunately, I'm not much of a Twitter person. You, Lois?
Nope, not at all.
Not at all. So if you are, and you're interested in Niagara, and you'd like to volunteer, hey, we'd be willing to take anybody on who can tweet. That's good for us. And then as well, the closed captioning is available down at the bottom of your screen if you click on the CC. Next month, we welcome back Janet, who's going to be speaking about the Wainfleet 9. And it's about 9 men who went to war. I think that's, if I remember talking to her about it, that's what it's about. She was a fantastic speaker last time.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I know a lot. We got a lot of feedback from people, and it was, they were quite pleased with that. So she'll be back with us next month, and we look forward to having her with us. And finally, like all nonprofits, like our branch and like many other branches, we need volunteers, because we've got some very dedicated volunteers. Sometimes I think they're a little crazy in their volunteering, very passionate in their volunteering, but we've got other needs. As we'll share tonight, we have index management that needs help. We need transcribers, and we need indexers, and all of this can be done from the comfort of your home. So we can set you up, and it's great. It's a great way to pass winter, because not everybody goes out in the winter.
Yeah, and you're helping other people out as well, because you know how hard it is to find stuff when it's not indexed. You got to search through a lot of documents. So anything that's going to help our members find their do their research, we welcome that. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just not our members, it's the genealogical community as a whole.
Yep.
And we'll explain that as we get into this tonight, but there's a great way of doing this. So with that, I think we're going to just get started.
Yep.
And again, I just want to remind everyone that if you have any questions, put it in the chat window. We will try to answer them as we go along. And if not, we will answer them at the end. So Lois, over to you with the and we will just close that out. And we're just going to stop sharing. Just give it just a moment and we will get this all set up for you. There we go. All right, so let me just get back to the sharing again. I've just lost my place. Excuse me just for a second. I happen to be working on one screen tonight, so that's a bit of a challenge for me. I'm used to working on 3 at home. So there we go, and I'll just exit some of this stuff out so that you can see, and you're off to the races.
Okay, so I'm just going to go through some of the websites that I've come across in my research. Some of them, the first one I have up here, it's just something that I happened to stumble on when I was Googling one of the people in my family that I was looking for. And I just found this Quakers website. So it's a minute book. And this link, there is a handout, and this link will be on the handout. So you can actually get to this document. And I'm just gonna scroll down a little bit here, and it talks about people in here. So it's got a lot of genealogy in it. So this is just one example of something that I stumbled on. So this is a Quakers, a document that the Quakers put out. Pelham had a fairly large, there was a large group of Quakers in Pelham. So it's just something that, you can take a look through it and see what you can find. I stumbled on this one. The next one that I'm going to go to is on the Upper Canada land petitions. Now, I didn't show you how to get to this document. I have created a video and it's on the website. Steve will talk about that closer to the end of the presentation. This was one of my ancestors. It's the petition of Ira Bentley. He was petitioning for land. And you can get a lot. I just want to show you the type of information that you might be able to get from such a document. Now, not all documents have the same information. This one here says that he married a daughter of Jacob Beam. So already I've got some information. It said that he's been here for about 2 years, and this document was signed or written in 1802. So I know he came around 1800. Actually, he came a little bit earlier than that, but you can get that kind of information from here. Keeping in mind that we don't have an official census until 1850. So this is one of the, there's an 1828 census, and I think there's a real small 1842 census. But there's not a lot of stuff on those ones. So this is these land records are really important to get information. So it talks about him living here, and then on the side here, it says that he has a family in Markham. He's got his father, 3 brothers, and 3 other family members in Markham. So there's another place that I could be looking for family members. So once again, I have created a video on how to find these Upper Canada land petitions. And Steve will talk about that at the near the end of the website.
I can't, sorry to interrupt. I can't believe that they've archived this. Like, you think this would be all, out available all the time, but as it says right along the header, this webpage has been archived.
Yeah, but it's fairly easy. It's fairly easy to find. Now, this is an example where I don't want to say it's not indexed. It sort of gives you an index. There's that little mechanism to get to the actual document. Okay. Yeah, so this is on the Library and Archives Canada website. So going to the next one, I'm still on Library and Archives Canada. This is the home children. They came around 1869 to 1932. I'm just going to go to the next tab for 1 second and come back to this one. And this just talks a little about Maria Rye. She had a place down at Niagara on the lake. Okay, so they have a lot of information about how the home children came here and about the system and stuff. They also have information on the individual children. So I'm going to go back to this tab here, and I'm just going to go to Home Children Records. And I'm going to search the database. Now, when you get to this one here, if you know the name of somebody that you're looking for, you can type it in here. If you know the ship that they came on, you can type it in here, and you'll get all the children that came on that ship, or if that ship came in more than once, you'll get all the children that came on that ship, however many times that ship came over, and the year of the arrival. So I'm just going to type in a name here. This is just one that I looked up. It's not a relative or a family of mine. I'm just going to type in Agnes McLean. We'll do a search. And let's just take a look at, there's some other documents here. The reason I picked this one, I've heard about the Peruvian. She came over on the Peruvian in 1870. That's the name of the ship. If I click on this document, this link here, it gives me some information. So now I know she's on the 1871 census. And if I just continue to look here, it says she's gone to live with the sister of Mrs. Hughes on the other side. So it looks like she kind of left. So if you were trying to find her, maybe that's why you can't find her. No, she has left. So you can get a fair bit of information out of these British home child records. So that also is on the Library and Archives Canada. The next one I want to go to is the Niagara Settlers, and this is an absolutely great website. This person that's put this together has he hasn't done all of the townships in Niagara, but he's done a lot of them. So I just want to go to we'll go to Ontario Pioneers here. We'll take a look at this, and if you had an ancestor that came over, I'm going to pick R. And I am looking for Robbins here. So we'll go to this one. And Daniel Robbins is one of my ancestors. And I do know he came from New Jersey. But as I read through this, I realized, no, this isn't him, because he didn't live in Thorold. He was in Gainsborough. So I'm going to continue down. And I'm looking through, it says another Daniel Robbins. Okay. And the Daniel Robbins I know did come from New Jersey. And this is the one that in Gainsborough. So I'm just saying, on this website, you've got other information. This was just my ancestor, but you've got other information. You've got other people. He's got it all indexed. So this is a great website where you can look through to find some more information. I love this website. I use it quite a bit. So that is the Niagara Settlers. And again, the link is on your handout. Also, a part of the Niagara Settlers are the land records. And here's where I'm saying he hasn't completed all of the townships yet. I don't know if he's going to. I'm going to look into the Grantham townships, or the Grantham Township. And he's got old maps on here. I'm going to pull the 1791 map. And that is this map in here. Now, I don't know if any of you have looked through the Ontario archives to get the land patent map. This is what this map here was created from. I'm just going to pull this one up. And this is I pulled this out of the Ontario archives. Now, this one's not too bad to read, but some of them are very, very difficult to read. So by using this map here, somebody has transcribed it. It was transcribed in 1983, and the handwriting is great. It's easy to read. It's wonderful. So that is on the Grantham Township. Now, if we go to settlers, it's going to do a couple of examples here. If I go under J, and this would be, I'm looking for my husband's family here, and his family is Jabez Johnson. And it talks about a lot of the transactions that happened. And from here, you could go on land to try to find some of the records. And again, there is a video on finding land records on land that I created. So again, this was my husband's ancestor, and you get some of the stuff that he would have sold, the land that he would have sold. So that's the Niagara settlers. So again, that link will be on the handout. The next website I want to go to, this is called the Google Archives, and there's just a lot of newspapers, and these are not just Ontario. I believe they're across all of US, Canada, and maybe even outside of the US. I'm not totally sure where they all come from, but the only issue with this one is it's not indexed. It hasn't been OCR'd, and you have to know the name of the newspaper and kind of the date you're looking for. But if you can find something that's relevant, it is great. So let's just go to the next one here. So I just pulled something out. This is the Niagara Gleaner, and this is back in 1833. And here's an obit. Somebody died near St. David's. She was 109 years old. That's amazing. And back in those days, okay, it said she came up from New York and she was here for, it looks like 50 years. So it gives you a timeline of when she came. Something else over on this side over here are a list of letters that remains at the post office. And it just gives a list of people. So even if you didn't know we had an ancestor here, maybe you'll see a name and say, oh, maybe somebody was living here during this time period. Okay. So you've got a list of letters. Then down below, and I'm not quite sure what this is, a list of American letters, but again, you've got some more genealogy in here, people that may have lived here. I'm not 100% sure what the difference between these two are, but anyways, it's good information. One more set of newspapers here. This is the New York State historic newspapers. Now we are, Niagara is on the border here. If I go to Erie here, and you've got a whole, let me just go back to, let's go back to where I was, sorry. So you can look in New York historic newspapers. There's newspapers all across New York. I'm just going to pick one that's across the river from us. I will go to Erie. And I just pulled one up, the Buffalo Evening News, June 23rd, 1900. And you can see it's got some Welland, Ontario notes in it. So those are some of the websites that I have used. And I just want to say, by no means it's just all of them. There are a lot more out there. We're just trying to hit on some of the highlights. So I'm going to turn this over to Steve and let
Yeah, wow, that's a lot of stuff. And it's, as Lois was saying, New York, hey, there, from here my sister lives in Grand Island, like she's 15 minutes away. If I didn't have to wait at a border, I could be there in 15 minutes. Not right now, but I think November 8th, we can start going. But, the Buffalo News and the Niagara Falls, New York News, they do a great job at documenting our news as well. And sometimes we can find out things in their newspapers that we can't find in our own local newspapers. Now, we do have a few questions that I just want to go to. Ken had put, good evening, Ken, good to see you on. From the Google Newspaper Archives, MyHeritage has incorporated Google News into their newspaper collection.
Oh, good to know.
And did you know, as an OGS member, you get free
Yes.
access to the MyHeritage Library Edition? So, hey, that's a great value from that. So, and he's also included a link in the chat about searching the Google newspaper archives. So thanks, Ken, for doing that. We will get the handout shortly. I wasn't going to interrupt Lois as we were doing this, but I will output it into the chat in just a moment here. Let's see here. Yeah, there's lots of comments about why I made that comment. Why is it archived? You know, and we got lots of people, well, explaining why it was archived, but genealogical sites are archives, but I don't put a big red banner on it. Maybe that's just me, but I'm finicky like that. It's just current data. Genealogical information is current data, and it never goes old. So why wouldn't we do that? And then yeah, there was one at the top. A bunch of newspapers in Ontario were digitized, and you can search by the name. But nothing is happening in St. Catharines. It's really, nobody's really taking an initiative in the Niagara region to digitize. And maybe that's something we need to do, but we need a whole lot more volunteers, because I don't know about you. I don't know if I could take on another job. I'm pretty busy, but we need to do that. And I apologize for the land records, the Niagara Settlers, the web designer, the owner is Bob. Bob Murty, I probably pronounced that incorrectly, but I just want people to be aware that's his site. And I've had some conversations with the gentleman. He's a wonderful gentleman, lots of good information on his website. Please exploit the website. Please support, you know, the work that he's doing as well. So we're just gonna keep going here. Like I said, we've got some national websites that we can drill down, and then we're going to get into some local stuff as well, and we will do that as we go along. So one of the other sites that we were able to use was from the Legion, and it's called The Last Post. And if you've never heard of The Last Post, it really is just a massive index of, you know, what have we got here? 205,000 names. Now, let me give you just a little bit of a hint with The Last Post, because I wanted to give you an example, and there's the example. And that is my wife Diana's great uncle, Don Smith, who's passed away. But he was a loyal member of the Legion. He served in World War II, and his information is there. And the really cool thing about it is underneath is a chat that you could possibly ask questions or learn more about this individual or other individuals. So if you go to legionmagazine.com, you will find The Last Post there. Now, to give you a little bit of a search tip, when I searched for Great Uncle Don, I searched by personal information. And remember we said we were going to preload all this stuff and not click on links? Well, oh well. So we've got, I put in Simpson under the last name. I put in first name, Donald. I selected country, and I selected, then it switches, and I selected Ontario, and I selected then Welland, which is really cool that you can do that and you can drill down. But I couldn't find him. He didn't appear. And my wife was completely puzzled. Why? Like, she knew he was in The Last Post. You know, is we took the Canada away. And he immediately appeared. So there's a little bit of something going on with their data in the database. So if you cannot find somebody by drilling down, get rid of the country. And that might take a little bit more work, but it is a way of, you know, finding them. We found him immediately as soon as we did that. So great Uncle Don right there. So let's talk about another US database. Again, we're on the border. Why not? You know, it's not like it was today where, you know, post 9/11, there's security, there's, you know, customs, there's just a million things to get over. But back in the day, they just walked back and forth. Like we just went for a daily stroll. Well, this particular cemetery, which is in Buffalo, and I've only been there once, and it is amazing because you come through Buffalo and you go around a corner and it's like there's these massive gates and you almost look like you've arrived in heaven. Like it's the pearly gates that you drive into. It's very cool. But what's even cooler is, well, besides the trolley tour that I'm going to go on, because why not? Because cemeteries are cool. They have an archive on the property. And in the archive is just a bucket load of information. But they also have this index on their website, and you can actually search for Canadians. And I didn't get a chance, I was too busy today, and I didn't get a chance to pull up a particular record. But if you do a search, you're looking for somebody, Buffalo was, you know, a hint that something's going on, do a search here. You may find them in here. I'm just going to do a random search of my last name because, hey, why not? And as you can see, you know, Anna E. Fulton, I have no idea if she's even related to me, but you know, there's a cremation permit, a death register, share the memories, and a service card. So if I click on the service card, you know, there's the service card for her and the cremation permit. That is like so cool in a creepy kind of way, I guess.
Yeah, wow.
But it gives you all sorts of information that you can click on. So if you happen to be looking for somebody in the Niagara, and it even's got the obit, that's even cooler. So this is a great website for you to, you know, look at and search and, you know, seek possibly your ancestors who may have just lived on the other side of the pond or the other side of the river, and then come back. So this is Forest Lawn, and again, it will be in the handout there. So I'm just going to go over to a couple questions. I see a couple questions I'm looking over. It says, for the last post, like many other online databases, I found that putting less information at the start of your search and then slowly adding filters if required is often the best approach. Absolutely. I say it over and over again. Don't outthink the database. Even with Google, don't be smarter than Google because it just won't serve you well. Start very wide, just with a surname, put in a first name, and work your way in. Great tip. And then, oh, there we go. I can give you another example for Forest Lawn. Hattie Hope. Hattie Hope. So let's go back. Let's just type in Hattie Hope. Why not? So Hattie, H-A-T-T-I. That came from Cheryl Bowman, who is our secretary on the branch council. Appreciate that, Cheryl. And I hope I got that spelled right. And I got nothing. Well, that's all right. There is an E. Okay, I think I put an E. Oh, I didn't put an E. Thanks, Cheryl. And no, okay, we'll just move on, but it's there. We'll trust that I'm just typing it wrong. But so yeah, a great website that and if you ever get a chance, go over to Forest Lawn when the borders open. They have a massive archive building and it's gorgeous. Have you ever been there?
No.
No, it's great. We should do like a Niagara branch tour over there. It would be phenomenal. Then maybe we can take the trolley too. That'd be great. Here's a very local site that Lois didn't even know about. You didn't know about the site, did you, before?
No, not at all.
It's called wellandhistory.ca. And it's a real mix mash of stuff. I happen to save the page right to the obituary. They have a bunch of obituaries and marriages and stuff, but you'll also find things on appetizing meat dishes, or the Welland Canal, or, cemeteries, or Port Colborne, because anytime they talk about Welland, they always talk about Port Colborne. It's just kind of that little brother that nobody wants to mention. But, it's Port Colborne. Christmas, churches, receipts, and then family information. But as you can see, there's just lots of information. The site, I'll just give you a little bit of a hint. The site is slow, so you have to be patient with it. It's I've tried to reach out to the site owner. I haven't received a response, but we can, it's a great site to spend some time and data mine through it. Look, there's a whole section on recipes. There's 1,100 recipes with the letter B. Wow, we won't go down that rabbit hole.
Those are family names.
Are they family names?
Those are family names, yeah.
Oh, there's only 72 recipes.
Yep.
Okay, my bad.
Yep.
All right. So another great site that you can go. I'm just going to check for questions. And yeah, you're just talking about the spellings. So hey, we couldn't do something local without talking about Brock University. If there's a special collections, this is the place to be. I think they got more stuff than they know what they've got. And they've got stuff on their website that I don't even think they know they got on their website. It's pretty amazing. And if you ever get a chance to go to special collections, there's another tour we could do.
Oh yeah.
We could check out Brock University. So Brock University also has a collection of early Black settlers in Canada. It's a great resource for Black history, Black heritage, and because St. Catharines was part of the Underground Railroad. And so a lot of that history was captured. Lots of images. You could spend, Lois and I, when we were getting ready for this presentation, we got into Brock and we had to get out of it because we were going to be there all day. It was pretty crazy, but there's lots of images, lots of information that you can find out about this, about Black heritage in St. Catharines and the surrounding communities. Another thing that we get asked a lot about is the UELs in Niagara. Where's the information? Where can I go? Where can I get the original land grants and stuff like that? Well, all of that stuff, all of those documents are at Brock, at the special collections. And this particular page that we pulled up is the Haldeman papers, because Brock also has, Haldeman County as well. And even we've seen some in Norfolk in here. Did we not the other day?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, we did.
Okay. So there's lots of information in the special collections in concern to Loyalist papers that you can get from Brock. And the archivist up there is fantastic. Even if you can't get there, you can shoot them an email, and they're very good. Now, the Friends of the Loyalist collection are also the Colonel John Butler local UEL-AC group that's here in Niagara, and they're affiliated with his collection. Another wonderful group that if you have that Loyalist connection, you're trying to understand how to connect. If you can't figure it out through Brock, you could reach out to them, Colonel John Butler, or you could just reach out to our research team here in Niagara, and we can give you some assistance as well. And finally, the last thing we found in Brock, and this is where we started to go down that squirrel hole, you know, because we're genealogists, and why wouldn't we explore? But every time, return of convictions. I don't know about you, but that makes me stop. Yeah. And I just get nosy. And I think, well, all my family were a bunch of criminals, and they're probably listed in here. But I couldn't find them. But this is a Archives and Special Collections recent submissions. It's just under the main Archives and Special Collections recent submissions. And it's just a mountain of documents that just go on and on and on. And as Lois was talking about earlier, this is the kind of stuff that we could, you know, point people to, and we could transcribe, and we could, you know, have that conversation with the archivist to say, hey, you know, and work on a partnership to get this. But, you know, I couldn't just open this page and not open the return of convictions. I had to open it. And there they are. And no, not any of my family's here. Any of yours?
I hope not. I have enough problems in my family. Actually, that petition I showed you with Ira Bentley, he was a traitor in the War of 1812. He signed up with Joseph Wilcox.
Oh, you're one of those.
I'm one of those.
So yeah, there's some names here, like the uppers that I recognize: Grahams and Smiths, Campbell, Clark. Lots of good information. Pretty much all the same, kind of breaking into things, or drunk, or assault. You know, but good information, kind of help put the meat back on the bones of your ancestors and what they were doing, or what they weren't doing because they were in jail. You know, there you go. Selling without a license. There you go. All right. So we're just going to keep moving along here. So we're going to land on the Niagara site. And, you know, I always refer people back to the Niagara site because, well, it's our site and it's great. I think it's great.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
I hope you think it's great. But there's just a bucket load of stuff. And I want to just point out that tonight we have Joanne on this call, and she is another one of our volunteers. And Joanne and I worked through all of the indexes in preparation for tonight's talk to get them all ready for everyone. And, you know, it was a lot of work, but it's very rewarding. Brian Gilchrist, who was one of the founders of this branch, literally asked me once, he goes, "What are you doing for genealogy?" And he wasn't asking about my genealogy, but as a newbie, I thought he was. And I told him all sorts of stuff. He's like, no. He goes, "What are you doing for genealogy? What are you doing for the next generation?" And this is what we were doing. And this is how we're doing it. So I just want to highlight a few things that we've done. If you haven't been to the branch website, you've missed a whole lot of stuff. It's constantly changing. And if you're not at this branch website at least every 30 days, you're probably missing the boat on something. So I'm just going to take you through a few things. One of the things that we have done is we had a ton of indexes here, and we've compressed them all down to a master index that I'll just showcase in just a moment here. Well, a few of the indexes, the library collection, the Beamsville Post Express, the Lincoln marriage certificates, they don't really fit in. So right now we've just kind of left them out. But I wanted to highlight the two New York State websites, the one Lois was talking about, the historic newspapers, and the Forest Lawn Index. We put them onto our website. They aren't our indexes, but we're genealogists. We should be sharing this kind of stuff. So definitely we want to highlight that. So we're just going to go to the next one. So this is the grand work that we have been doing on the website. It is the Lincoln and Welland Master Index. As of today, it has 442,966 records.
Wow, holy smokes.
It's got a lot of records on it, and it's fantastic. And we want to thank, because one of the contributors to this index is Canadian Headstones. And we got the Niagara section of Canadian Headstones and put it in this index as well. And I was talking to Joanne today, and it sounds like she's got a bunch of others. So this index is going to be growing exponentially in the next little while. And there are publications, as you can see, if you click on record type, it will show you, you can either search all of the records, as if I type in my last name. You can search all of the records at one time. Sorry, forgot to press enter. Yeah, I don't know why that's doing that. I hate when it does that.
I know.
It's embarrassing, but we'll try it again. It does work. It better work. So there it goes. So again, you can see Fulton. I did a search by Fulton. So First Presbyterian, the county atlases, the cemetery. There's 56 entries for just Fulton in the Niagara region in the index, including pedigree charts, Morrison's Son Funeral Home, the 1881 census, the Beamsville Post, express marriages, Canadian headstones. There's lots there. Or if you want, you can go through the list and you can search them individually. But I'm not really sure why you would want to do that. But hey, that option is there because sometimes you just want to focus on one little thing. So absolutely. So I'm just going to stop for a moment. I'm going to look right over at these questions here. And there's a little bit of chitter chatter going on about Forest Lawn. Again, great site. Keep exploring it. If you find any of my ancestors, let me know. Who knows? So we're seeing here, I found this site useful for finding out maps of St. Catharines to look up ancestors' addresses. I just Googled stuff like maps St. Catharines 1923. Yes, Brock University has got some great maps. We didn't pull up that particular page. I don't know why we didn't pull up that particular page.
No, Brock is great. That Tremaine map of 1862. That I don't know if anybody's seen that, but that's an awesome one. Also, I think in the Ontario archives, all the townships have a patent plan. So that's another place to look. And that I have included that in one of the videos I created. But maps are great. I've been spending my last 3 or 4 weeks just looking at maps. It's awesome.
Yeah, so definitely do a Google search for maps or in Brock University, you'll find them there. Fantastic, fantastic stuff. Any tips for searching Catholic records in Lincoln County, 1850 to 1869? Well, I'm going to show you in just a minute. So just hang on. Melanie, great question, but I'm going to show you something. And to use the index, do you need to be a member of the branch? Great question. No. You can search it. All of our indexes are free to search on the website. Now, I'm going to show you the second part of the index that that's the members only. So say if we go to this particular Fulton one, I'm going to click on view details, and that's from Beverly. Hey, Beverly, good to see you on. So we're going to just click on view details. Here's another one of those ones I wasn't supposed to load, but I'm loading it. Why not?
Sure, go for it.
And what it's going to do is it's going to bring up a secondary page. It might give you a little bit more information, but what it's going to do is it's either going to push you to another website like Canadian Headstones. It's going to push you to the Society Marketplace where we sell the publication, and it takes you directly to the publication. It doesn't take you to the outside. Or it's going to take you to members only, where the record is available. Or finally, some of the indexes, some of the information, if we were just to back up here and I selected Thorold Lakeview Cemetery. So let's select that one. And we're going to take the Fulton out because there's no Fultons in Thorold. And we're going to click on view details. And what you see here is a mountain of details. That's it. There's nothing more available. We can't even give you the original because the original were massive ledger books and there were one thick little line. It's just not feasible to give out a page because there's like 100 people on a page. So everything in the Thorold death books that we tend to call them, but they're the Lakeview Cemetery Burial Register, all the information will be in that index for free. So, there's lots of options for doing that. One of the other things that we do have on the website is we do have our members only. And members only is only good when there's stuff in it. And I'm not saying just one or two things. I mean stuffed full. It's got to be packed. And just today, we put in preparation for this, we put in the suspension bridge marriages. They are the New York side. Just so everybody's aware, the suspension bridge in Niagara Falls, both sides, there was an age difference when you could get married. So they went to the suspension bridge to kind of get around those rules. So there's a Canadian marriage records and there's a New York marriage records. And now we have both books. Thank you to the Niagara Genealogy out of Lockport, Jeanette, who's actually spoken for us before. So it is a great resource that you can get. And if you just proceed to the indexes that I do have preloaded, you will find the Niagara records here. And I tried to make them, understand where they are. And some of that master index goes directly to the record. Okay, so it is actually takes you right there. But if you're just surfing around, you can come in here and, let's go into family histories. And here is family histories. And let's click on the Beamer family when I should have preloaded it, but it's coming up okay. Henry Beamer. And it might take a moment to come up. But here you go. You've got a family history that's been donated by a member or a member of the genealogical community. It's in our members only. It is protected. And you can view the documents, but you cannot download them. And we do that just simply for copyright and for the protection of the documents. So that is there for you to review. Now, to go back to the other question Melanie asked about searching Catholic records in Lincoln County. The branch doesn't have a lot of records in concern to the Catholic Church. There are archives that you can reach out to. Hamilton McMaster, they have the Catholic, the Anglican, I believe it's the Anglican, I could be wrong. But you can approach each of the churches and find out. But one of the really neat things that we were able to discover, and underneath research, you will find public domain books. And in there is this Catholic Church of the Niagara Peninsula from 1626 to 1895. And this book is fantastic. It actually helped us solve a mystery in downtown St. Catharines when they were telling us there was no cemetery, and the book actually said there was a cemetery. So that is public access. You can access these books, and we hope to put more of these public domain books in there. So I hope that answered your question. So yeah, Ken, the fire insurance plans, they're a fabulous resource for the villages, towns, and cities. McMaster and Western University have digitized copies, and so does LAC and Archives of Ontario. Yes, thank you. From Ron, any suggestion for searching for ancestors from Niagara Welland from 1820 to 1830 in Grimsby Township records, the names from 1830 to 1867. Thank you. You're welcome. That's a bit of a challenge. That's pretty old, 1830.
So there is an 1842 census. I don't know. It's not too inclusive. It doesn't include a lot. You might not find anything there. I think land records, if you have the township, one was Grimsby Township, okay? And by the way, if you're looking for Grimsby Township in the early days, I stumbled on this when I was struggling with it. It is not under Grimsby Township, it is under Gainsborough. So if you are looking at land records, the land records are very confusing, but you might want to check out some land records. Check out On Land. I'm not sure how good you are navigating the land records. It does take it, they are challenging, but that's a place that you could look in. What was the other one, Steve?
It was Welland, Niagara Welland. Well, Welland, that's Welland County.
Welland County, right.
So we would need a township.
Yeah, a township would be better if you're looking for land records. But I would say land, at least with the land record, it gives you an indication of whether they live there. Now, if they just rented, yeah, that's not good.
Well, Grimsby's also got an archive. And,
yes.
And Cheryl just posted here, try the Annals of the 40.
Yes. Yeah, that's a set of books. Yeah,
that's a great document as well. So they have a museum, they have an archive. You could reach out to them, very knowledgeable. Or again, you could reach out to our research people as well, and see if they can help with that. And Family Search from Joanne. Family Search has an 1828 Grimsby census, and so does the Niagara branch.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Great resource. If you don't know about Family Search, I just want to be very clear. And Family Search is amazing. And that's from the Latter-day Saints. And you may be all on this call going, why is he saying that? Well, I find that a lot of people just don't know about Family Search.
Oh, it is absolutely, the amount of information they have there is just astounding. It is unbelievable. And it's free. You do have to register, you have to sign up with an account, but after that, it is free. You can search for records, anything that's indexed, you can search for. A lot of this stuff is not yet indexed, But you can go, they've digitized a lot of stuff. You can scan through their microfilms as well. There's sometimes a little bit of a trick to getting through them, so you don't have to look at every image. But yeah, Family Search is amazing. So I would, if you're not familiar with Family Search, I would suggest you go on and even find a learning or a video on
YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is your best friend.
Yeah.
One of the other things, just so you know, that the St. Catharines Public Library, all 5 branches, is a Family Search affiliate library. So you know how you would normally go to the church or the temple to get access to the records that are locked. Well, you can go to the St. Catharines Public Library and do that.
And same with Vineland and
Vineland.
Moses Rittenhouse, and what's the other one?
Fleming.
I believe Fleming is also an affiliate. Yes.
Yeah, we're trying to get all of Niagara done, but it does take some time.
Especially with COVID.
Yes, absolutely. So let's just wrap this up here. Lois talked earlier about the learning videos that she's been doing. We hope to put some more on. If I get a few minutes, I'm going to actually put a few on, but I got to get a few minutes. And this talks about using the Internet Archive or the land records for known lot and concession, Lincoln Township papers, and finding Upper Canada land petitions at LAC.
And I do I've got it almost ready. I'm going to be doing one on the township papers of Welland County. I just ran across a couple snags on that one. It's not quite as easy as the Lincoln one. But I do intend to get that done in the next little while. So look for it. And I'm going to try and do some other videos as well.
I think Ken warned us about Welland County.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You didn't listen to him, did you?
He was right.
All right. And these are free. So feel free to watch these videos, and they're great. Great videos to do. So finally, we're going to close out at the branch monthly meetings. These meeting recorded are for members only. Hey, that's just the benefit of being a member of the branch. And that's where I'm gonna close off here. I'm gonna read some of these questions, but honestly, I couldn't imagine not being a member of the branch. For $14, the branch fee, when I pay my society fee and the branch fee is $74, but you're supporting volunteers that do all this work and create all this indexes and create videos and how much of a life do we have? It's Friday night, 8 o'clock, and we're sitting in lock 7. We could be out somewhere, I guess, maybe at Tim's or something. But membership is ongoing. You can join the branch at any time. Our new latest membership drive starts November 1st. The Grow Our Family program is back, so you can get half price if you bring in a new person, or if you are a new person, find an existing. Lois would like to get half price.
If anybody wants to partner with me, absolutely, I'll come in for half price. So
there you go. But it's a great opportunity, and I hope we hope that we shared some information with you tonight that you can take back. You can do some research. We do have a research team. You can email the branch. We don't charge an hourly charge. We do the work. We do ask for a donation. If what's $20 instead of getting in a plane and spending a lot of time in a hotel. And finally, the last thing, and Lois just reminded me, it's really bad. Up here, just new on the website, you will now see an English and French translation button. So if you actually click on the French, it will auto-translate the site between the two the two official languages of Canada. We tried to make that available, and we continue to work on that. So I'm just going to go to the questions, and we'll go from there. My granddad was a police officer in 1930 in St. Catharines. Are there any records available? Where would I start? I'm thinking staff records, maybe records of cases he was involved with. Well, I'd probably start at the NRP, the Niagara Regional Police, and go from there. And, that's a great question. We should ask that question.
Yeah, we could just something that
Yeah.
I'd like to get on the website. That'd be
Hey,
interesting.
anybody wants to volunteer to come up with great ideas? I think we've got a few people on here. Just share some ideas. For land records on Ontario land, even if you find the property there, also check the abstract on family search within the county. I found that some of the on-land records for concession range lots have gaps in their transcriptions.
Okay, good.
And
tip.
that's from Ken. If you missed Ken's talk last month, you should listen to it because he warns about Welland County. Thanks for the tips. Lots to search. Thanks. The handout. Yes, the handout. The handout. We need to do that. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to email everybody tonight the handout directly. I have all your email addresses, and I'll just email it to you. It's easier, and because some people have a problem getting it from the chat window, so I'll just email it to you all. I will be joining. That is fantastic, Tracy. And if you are new, you need to reach out to Lois.
Yes.
Because you can both get a deal, 50% off. Why wouldn't you? So thank you. And how do we access the previous month's talk? Great question, April. You can just come to the website. You will find a login on any of the pages. If you're a member of the branch, just type in your regular OGS credentials and sign in, and then just go to education sessions, media, and meeting recordings, and they are all there for you to do. So you're most welcome. So again, thanks, Lois, for coming. This has been fun.
Oh, it's been great.
And we look forward to next month when Janet's going to join us, and we're going to learn a little bit about, the Wing Fleet 9. And her last presentation was phenomenal. So I expect this one to be just as good. And then we're going to take a break for Christmas because, hey, we got to have a break too. And then we're coming right back in January, and we're trying to put a 2022 session together. And it's going to be quite interesting. We've already got a couple people booked up for that, so stay tuned. And at any time you would like to volunteer, donate to the branch, donate a collection, be engaged, be involved, reach out to the branch, niagara@ogs.on.ca. Have a great night, folks. Cheers. Bye for now.
Good night.